Coming up here on NFL Daily, I'm going to tell you the most overpaid player on each NFC team. We'll go to the South, West, East, and then we'll wrap the show up with the North. Today's show is presented by Panda Supps. If you're looking for some high-quality supplements, or let's be honest, if quarantine kicked your butt a little bit and you're trying to get back into shape, go to pandasupps.com. Make sure you use promo code CHAT at checkout to save 30%. Let's go down to New Orleans, shall we, where the first player that I'm going to talk about is Taysom Hill. I love Taysom Hill, the football player. The issue is I'm not going to pay somebody $4.84 million who only played in 22.65% of the snaps. Great fun player, but you're paying him backup quarterback money for somebody that doesn't really throw the football very much. That's why he is the most overpaid Saints player, in my opinion. Let's now go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where this was actually a pretty difficult one. Donovan Smith is a good offensive tackle, but I think every single Bucs fan watching would agree he's not worth $14.5 million. Let's now go to Atlanta, where I like Dante Fowler. However, $6.66 million, I understand that he's coming off a pretty solid season. They signed him in free agency. But when I'm starting to see some of the other deals that are about to happen, let's just say the one that could happen soon with Everson Griffin or the one that could happen soon with the Clowney. If you're telling me right now I'm going to pay Fowler $6.66, it's also a very unlucky number. That's why he's listed here as my overpaid Falcon. Carolina, they're the last team in the NFC South, and at $19.46 million, this one was pretty easy for me. Kawann Short, when healthy, is a solid player. However, he is still not worth that type of price tag. He is the highest paid player on the team by a significant margin. The next closest player to him is quarterback Teddy Bridgewater, and at about $14 million for cap hit in 2020. Kawann Short, well, you're not coming up too short. You're very overpaid in my opinion. So I'm curious, who is the most overpaid player in the National Football League? I want you to scroll on down and let me know in the comments section. So we are an interactive YouTube channel. I'm going to be looking in the comments. So I want to know who is the most overpaid player in the NFL. And yes, this is an NFC-based video, but if you're wondering who my most overpaid players were in the AFC, well, luckily for you, if you hit that subscribe button, you won't miss a video like the one that you see on screen. So after you get done watching this one, what I want you to do is go check out this video on the channel. Let me know the most overpaid AFC players as well. All right, we're going to keep it moving here. The Seattle Seahawks most overpaid player, it's Greg Olsen, who they acquired in free agency. A cap hit of $6.91 million at a time. I would have said that's an absolute steal for Olsen. However, he is coming off a year with 597 receiving yards, which over his last 4 is his best year. But a player that was very highly used in that offense has also been dealing with a ton of injuries. And when I really look at Seattle's offense in general, you had a lot of other tight ends where if Disley can stay healthy, he's a solid player. Jacob Hollister, kind of in the same realm there, had a bit of a breakout here, if you will, last season with the Seahawks. Olsen, good player, but you're paying a veteran almost $7 million. And at this point in his career, I think I would have just rolled the dice with Disley and Hollister and really kind of figured out what you got. Maybe, though, they're finally going to let Russell Wilson really try to air it out and throw the football. Olsen at least will be a safety blanket. So before I started the show, I mentioned, hey, our new sponsor, Panda Supps. And if what you see on screen right now is Nootropics. And Mitch, what is Nootropics? For you out there that drink coffee or maybe an energy drink, you can get focused with Panda Supps. So you're going to be able to get 30% off at pandasupps.com when you use code CHAT. I'll put it in the comments and I'll put it in the description as well to make it a little bit easier for you, because maybe I'm losing your concentration and you can concentrate on a link a little bit easier. So why should somebody use Nootropics? Maybe you're a student. Maybe you're just struggling at work trying to stay focused. Nootropics is going to help you stay focused and stay locked in. For all you out there, you know that I'm not the best student, or I wasn't. This is the kind of product that you need to help remember notes. Focus, memory, energy. You can get that with Nootropics. Pandasupps.com, but make sure you use code CHAT at checkout. Let's now go to the San Francisco 49ers, and another team that was actually kind of difficult for me to find an overpaid player, yet I did lean on Solomon Thomas, who played a little bit better last season, but I think when you look at the amount of talent that is around Solomon, I think that's why he had a little bit better of a year. But since he was drafted number 3 overall in 2017, every 49er fan out there would agree with me that he has not lived up to the hype whatsoever. So Solomon Thomas at $9.05 million, you're the most overpaid 49er. Now to my opinion, the most overpaid player in the entire National Football League. Doesn't matter AFC, doesn't matter NFC. It's Jared Goff, and with a cap hit this year of 28.84, that might not seem like a lot of money for a quarterback, but if the Rams were to cut Goff, it's like $94 million in terms of dead cap hit. Had one good season, had a lot of talent around him, and now some of that talent's starting to dwindle down, and you're starting to see the real Jared Goff, who is a very shaky player at best. Arizona Cardinals' most overpaid player, DJ Humphries, set to make $12.8 million. Last season played 1,046 snaps, but he had 13 penalties. And when I dove into each overpaid offensive player or player in general in the NFC, the Arizona Cardinals were actually one of the more difficult teams for me to come up with one, and that's where I landed on DJ Humphries. The reason why I went with him, too many penalties, a little too many pressures, and for my liking personally, especially when you have a young quarterback in Kyler Murray. For all you Cardinal fans out there that are looking for some a little bit more, we'll say, content, more concentration on Cardinals on football only, go to chatsports.com/CardinalsTV, because the more subscribers we get on that channel, the more videos we can do. Please go check it out. It's time now to go to the NFC East, where I have Tyrone Crawford set to make $9.1 million. And he played in only 4 games last season, started only 2 of those. As you can see his stats below, not that great. A Cowboys team that does have a lot of very highly paid players. Tyrone Crawford at one time was a great defensive player. Unfortunately, I think age and injuries are starting to catch up to him. Let's now go to the Philadelphia Eagles. Alshon Jeffrey, $15.45 million. It's just way too much money to pay a player for one that, well, didn't produce last year. And point number 2, why would I pay somebody that doesn't even want to be on the team and that has been an absolute cancer in that locker room? Alshon Jeffrey, overpaid Eagle. Next guy breaks my heart a little bit, and I remember the video. We actually made a video go viral around Alex Smith, but at $21.4 million for a player who's not going to play, and, well, it's probably played his last snap ever in the National Football League, it's pretty easy for me to make him the most overpaid Washington player. The last guy here in the NFC East, Nate Solder, $19.5 million. Since he came over from New England, it has been an absolute disaster. He allowed 11 sacks last season, and as much as I'm not 100% sold on Daniel Jones, you can't have your young rookie quarterback who you drafted 6th overall getting smacked around, especially when you're paying somebody about $20 million to be able to protect him. Nate Solder is the most overpaid offensive tackle in the league. So I want to know, who's your least favorite player right now? Not, 5 years ago, not 10 years ago. I want to know who's your least favorite player in the National Football League right now. If y'all are curious who mine is, hit me up on Instagram. I'm at MitchellRenz365. So right now you're watching a video around what I would consider, some extra content that we do here at Chat Sports. But we also do news. We also do rumors. We also go live every Monday and Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific. If you're an NFL junkie, if you need information, if you need something to listen to maybe on the way to work or while you're scrubbing yourself in the shower, hey, we got you covered. Hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications, or if for some reason you can't find the sub button, you see the link below me, youtube.com/chatsportstv. You can type that in, and then you can find us and hit sub. The most overpaid Vikings player entering 2020, I'm going to go with tight end Kyle Rudolph, set to make $8.83 million. Last season, the tight end saw only 48 targets. Did he bring in most of those? Yes. However, if you're not really going to use him as much, and you went out and drafted Irv Smith Jr., where I'm starting to think maybe in year 2 he might be the better option, but you're looking at 2 tight ends in Kyle Rudolph and Irv Smith, where I don't know if I'm going to go out and pay somebody $8.83 to only get 39 catches. Sure, he had 6 touchdowns, but when I think of the evolution of this offense, I do think of a little bit more of Irv Smith than Kyle Rudolph. So Viking fans out there, if you haven't already, check out our main Vikings channel, chatsports.com/VikingsTV. You can subscribe there because the more subs we get, the more Vikings content we can do. So the $1 million question I'm going to ask y'all, who's the better tight end? Type KR for Kyle Rudolph, type IS for Irv Smith Jr. If y'all want to know what I have to think, guess what? I'm going to tell you right away. I do think it is actually Irv Smith Jr. I think he takes that next step, and I am going to type my IS. If you're looking for a product to help you sleep a little bit better, listen up. 30% off at pandasupps.com when you use code CHAT. You can get SLEEPAID, all right? It looks like this one that you see on screen. Why would somebody go out and get this? Maybe you're working out, believe it or not, when you sleep better, your muscles grow a little bit faster. But maybe you had a stressful day at work. It's going to help you relax. It's going to improve your mood. It's going to help build some of that serotonin, but also it helps you get that deep night's sleep. And then when you wake up the next morning, you're not groggy, you're not cranky, you feel ready to go. It'll be in the comments. It'll be in the description, pandasupps.com, but make sure you use code chat. All right, let's now continue to go here with the NFC North. I got Dean Lowry, and for the Green Bay Packers, this was one of the most difficult teams to be able to find an overpaid player. I saw some people want me to put in Aaron Rodgers. I just couldn't end up doing that. At $5.2 million, I'm going to go with Lowry, who was rated last season, according to PFF, as the 92nd best defensive tackle in the National Football League. Let's now go to a player, that used to play with the Green Bay Packers, and is now with the rival, the Chicago Bears. Jimmy Graham at one time was the best tight end in the league. And at one time, you could have even said, well, he might have even been a wide receiver. That's how good he was with Drew Brees. But now he's slow, especially after the Achilles injury. And at $6 million, yeah, he's the most overpaid Bears player. The last team here in the North, it's Trey Flowers. And he is the 5th highest paid edge rusher in the league. And if you're paying somebody over $16 million, when you look at his entire contract, it averages out to about $18 million a year. That's just way too much money for a player who, well, to be frank, didn't show up in a lot of games last season. So if you've made it this far in the video, hey, I would definitely appreciate it if you gave us a like. That always helps us out. We're going to roll through here the most overpaid players in each division. If you disagree with any of these, please, that's what this channel is all about. Let's now look at the NFC West, where I got Greg Olsen, Solomon Thomas, Jared Goff, where, if you remember, he is the most overpaid player. If you disagree, or if you want to give me another player that you think is overpaid, or the most overpaid, hey, let me know. DJ Humphries, another player there. Tyrone Crawford, he's going to kick it off in the NFC East. Alshon Jeffrey at 15. Alex Smith, I wish you the best, but I had to do it. Nate Solder at 19.5. That is a lot of money for a player who gave up over 10 sacks last season. And then to round it out here in the NFC, Kyle Rudolph, Dean Lowry, Jimmy Graham, Trey Flowers. If you haven't hit that sub button yet, what are you doing?